5. So, welcome again to those that have joined here and those that will be looking at it from a recording. Sunil again from the Tribe of Coaches. Now, after ICW 2025, we are approximately 233 of us part of the tribe, and that for us is a very significant achievement in terms of number of people, the conversations, and the impact that we get to work with. And all thanks to all of us who come here. And so, yeah, it's a group where all of us come here and share our stories, share our experiences. So there's a session every Monday, and it happens mostly through networking sessions, Q&As, live mentoring, live coaching, and anything as such that benefits coaches. And mostly every month, the third Monday usually is from an external guest or something that's beyond the tribe of coaches. Somebody comes in and shares a session. So for this one, this will be counted as this one, even though it's the second Monday of the month. So uh, two very interesting friends of mine will be part of this. Basically, Anjali and Rahul will be co-leading this particular conversation in terms of their experiences working with the ACC. That's the newer format, the latest format of the ACC, if you have to put it. So some of you, as soon as you look at the exam, people will tell you of the CKA. The CKA is no longer in existence. Coach Knowledge Assessment is no longer in existence. Right now, it is the ICE, which is the ICF coaching examination. For ACC, there's one particular format, and for PCC, one particular format. If you've taken this exam maybe 6 to 8 months back, the ACC format was the same as the PCC format. And right now, there are changes in terms of the number of questions, the way the questions are basically put up. But your preparation um, radar in terms of what the core competencies, core values, and the ethics remain the same irrespective of whether ACC, PCC, or MCC. So with that basic information shared, I will put the baton on to Anjali and Rahul to take this conversation forward. So Anjali, you said you wanted to start off with the basics of saying when are you eligible for a exam. So I leave you to take that up, and then we'll look at it from a Q&A and sort of a panel kind of a thing. So over to you.
Sure. Thank you so much, Anil. To begin with, of course, talking about the eligibility, the route that I took was level 1, level 2, which was also earlier called as the ACTP route. So that's what I'm going to be talking about. If there are other requirements in regards to the portfolio path or the ACSCH path that I'm not aware of, so I'm not going to get into the nuances of that. I don't want to give out wrong information. So talking about the ACTP or the level 1, level 2 path, the few eligibilities which are also available on the ICA website, but I'm going to just, reiterate so for clarity. To begin with, there is 60 plus hours of coach specific education, which, a lot of people would be associated with some sort of organization, some training institute from where they're getting their coach training. So the different modules or the different the training that they go through, minimum 60 hours must be done. So that's one. The second is the 100 hours of coaching practice. It could be paid clients, it could be clients through barter, it could be again some sort of any sort of exchange, which is also considered as paid coaching. So to be eligible for ACC, 100 hours are the minimum, and for PCC it's 500 hours. Then you also need 10 hours of mentoring, which is a combination of one-on-one mentoring, which again would be taken care by your respective training institutes, or So 10 hours are divided into group coaching, group mentoring, sorry, and one-on-one mentoring. This what gets covered, like for me personally, my training institute, we covered the core competencies during our group mentoring sessions. And in one-on-one mentoring, I was evaluated based on my, recorded coaching session, and I was marked on the different markers, which are essentially the core competencies. And based on that, I got some feedback from my mentors, which essentially helped me improve my coaching practice and kind of deepening my knowledge of the core competencies. So 10 hours of mentoring is one of the eligibility. The fourth one is the certificate. That is when you complete all of this, your training hours, your coaching hours, and your mentoring hours, is when you can get a certificate from your institute, which says that, okay, you've met all the requirements and now you are qualified for going and applying for your ACC. So that certificate is very, very crucial to applying for the examination. And because if your institute is affiliated and it's kind of authorized rather by ICF to do the evaluation at their end, so they are the one who will be looking at your final evaluation call, the coaching call, and issuing the certificate to you. So that is very critical for the application. If the training institute is not authorized to do the same, you may have to look into it and apply directly to ICF and submit your recording, which is a different process, which I will not be talking about today. Maybe Rahul or Sunil have more insights to share there. Um, as far as the recording is concerned, the evaluation call that I talked about, it can't be a coaching topic. It has to be, I mean, you can coach on anything, but it can't be specific to coaching. For example, a lot of times, in peer coaching, we end up talking about how do I build and grow my coaching business, or, any challenges that you may be facing in your coaching practice. So those kind of topics can't be covered in the final recording. Um, this is the eligibility. The once you have all of that, the second step is the fees part of it. Once you go in on the ICA website and you fill in your application, and which is a very, very simple process. I think it won't take more than 5 minutes. It asks you basic questions like your education, so it's more like a declaration. You don't have to upload any documents. You don't have to do anything. It's more like a declaration that you've completed the specific requirements. And of course, the certificate acts as a proof that you've met the eligibility. ICF may not look at every application individually and kind of, get into the details, but you may get randomly picked up for audit. So make sure any information that you are submitting is, absolutely true. Otherwise, of course, even if you clear the exam, or at any point your accreditation can be revoked. So you just have to declare your education, your the client coaching experience, upload the certificate, pay the fees, which is for non-members it is $325. For members, I think it is, sorry.
Non-members, it's 525. Members, it should be 375.
No, I paid if maybe 325 or 375, but that's what I paid. I'm a non-member. It's not 525. We can look
Mostly
it
for
up.
the evaluation, yeah, maybe they've changed the pricing only for ACC. Yeah.
Right. For ACC, for the non-member, just for the examination, the fees is 325. For members, it is 175. So yeah, I mean, depending on your membership
They've
status.
reduced it. Yeah, they've reduced it.
Yeah. Yeah. So that's for the application and the eligibility part of it. And of course, then we'll just take a pause here and see if Rahul has anything to share in this aspect of it, or Sunil has to say anything, or if there are any questions, we can cater to that and then move to the preparation part and everything that follows. So over to you, Rahul, Sunil.
Thanks, Anjali. I took the ACSTH path, which, you know, when compared to ACTP, the coaching school will do everything for you, submit the recording to ICF, but ACSTH, I did it by myself. And I had to also look out for a mentor outside the space of my coaching school because they were not offering it with the ACC coach training. So I did that. I finished five group mentor hours, five individual mentor hours, submitted the call recording, And earlier I took the old format, which was similar for both ACC, PCC. I took it thrice. The third time I took it, I lost by 5 marks. So I was like, I'm not going to spend $105 again. Hopefully, let me just wait and see, and hopefully some changes come up. And in November, yeah, they came up with the format only for the ACC, which everyone told that it is similar to the coach knowledge assessment, which was there earlier. So this time, yeah, before we go to the prep, this is what I wanted to say. And yeah, when I took it this time, I had to pay $105. So we can move on to the prep if you're okay with it,
Yeah, yeah,
Anjali.
yeah. Yeah. So typically, maybe just a quick
Yeah.
additional sharing is that your examination will be the same format, irrespective of whether ACTP level 1, ACTP level 2. That means you've got your PCC training, but you're still taking your ACC. So you can write to your coach training institute saying for you to give a provisional this thing, saying you have completed your PCC training and done your 100 hours. The easiest thing with the log is every time you finish a coaching contract, as in like 10 sessions or 12 sessions or whatever number of sessions with the client, get a email from them that you can actually keep it handy that says, okay, this is the starting date, this is the end date, and they are okay to put it in the log. So, easiest requirement. So right now, I find it a little difficult to follow back some of those people that I haven't done it. So few, but I know that they've done it, but the in terms of the email is not there. So it's easier to just make it as a habit, as in when you begin through your process, it makes it easier for you to keep the log, keep the attachment or something that is equivalent to an email, then you should be fine. That it counts in helping your hours. And your group mentoring is not always mandated. The 10 hours can be 10 one-to-ones as well. So that's the overall space, and irrespective of your ACTP, ACSTH, or the portfolio. So that is something. Yes, Swati, you have your hand up. Yeah.
Yeah, I had a question. So my name is Swati. I'm new to the group. Let me also show my face in case you wish to see
Yeah,
it.
yeah, please.
Uh, so hi everyone. And the reason I'll be shutting off my camera is because, well, it's raining badly here in Bombay. So
Mm.
Wi-Fi in any case is a issue. So my query is, because I'm a counseling psychologist, it is a
Mhm.
mandate that I keep all my clients' name and demographic details confidential. In that case, I will not be able to share any detail from my end with ICF. What do I do?
Yeah, so because I think your coaching hours will not be in direct conflict with your psychology hours. So if your coaching hours is different from the therapy hours, if I have to put it. And if you have something that your therapy clients are your coaching clients, then it should be very clearly documented as to when you are doing therapy and when you are doing coaching. It cannot be done in tandem. So
Okay.
it has to be, say, May to Jan, sorry, Jan to May is therapy, and say June to December is coaching. Has to be clearly documented that right now you are a coach. So it cannot be run in parallel that today I am doing therapy and say 1 week down the line we do coaching, and that cannot run as a up and down thing. And
Yeah.
here, what happens inside the session is not required. We only require that I am so and so. This is my email address and phone number. Our coaching sessions happened today to whatever number of date and the number of sessions that are required. That's about it. We
Mm.
the ICF is not going to come back and check what was the conversation all about. So that way, your confidentiality is still maintained. And if you feel that your client does not, want that, you respect the client wishes. You may not be able to add it as part of the coaching log. In case someone says, I don't want it to be added to the log, I can't give my details back, then it can't be added. So it is a surprise audit. Typically, you keep it handy. If ICF audits it, you need to be able to showcase to ICF that this has happened. You'll only be exposing the name and the email address, and they will write who that particular email address from the ICF, asking for yes or no, saying, did Swati do a coaching session with you for so many number of hours starting from this? If they come, if the other person says yes, ICF does not go beyond that. And
But
as
does it
soon
happen
as
very often? Because a lot of most of my clients will not consent to, you know, their details being shared.
ICF runs with the highest level of space that they will not keep your details for any other means that is required for that audit. So that is the structure with the ICF. They are not nosy, they're not curious as to why it happened. After your audit is over, your log will be deleted from their place. And yeah, basically that is something that is guaranteed by the ICF.
Okay, then I think I need to assure my clients before sharing their name.
That's it. Yeah, that's about
Okay,
it. So
thanks.
while you are talking to your clients, while they are doing coaching, you need to let them know what is the ethics, what are the standards, etc. While you are doing your first conversation with a non-peer coach. A peer coach most of the times understands it. The non-peer client, you need to be very crystal clear as to what is coaching, what is not coaching, what is mentoring, therapy, coaching, etc. Especially from a therapy point of view.
Right,
Uh,
right.
yeah, so that boundaries have to be very clearly understood and
Demarcated.
notified both sides. Yeah,
Right. Understood. Right. Thanks.
right.
Thanks, Sunil.
Just to
Perfect.
add on to that, Swati, and so that it's pretty much rare that ICF is going to ask for the log. It is just for us to maintain the hours, like Sunil said, so that we keep a track of where we are, whichever credential you're going for, ACC or PCC. I wasn't asked for I wasn't asked by ICF to submit the client log as such when I registered for the exam. So they never
Yeah,
asked. So this like
yeah,
had to choose the center and pay the amount and go ahead.
yeah,
No,
yeah.
it's
So
just that, in case it does happen, for me, it's not just an ethical problem, it's also a legal issue. So
Right.
people can drag me to the court in case they get, I mean, in any case, I will be telling them, but still, like more, how
mm,
it works. Mental health in India is very, very stigmatized. So in general, I've been, the blanket request is please do not tell anyone about this. So yeah,
yeah, so that's where you'll have to be very careful,
yeah.
Swati, in terms of
No,
what
no,
is
no,
the
no, yeah.
demarcation. Yeah,
No, I'm
and
working on it already, but yeah, I just wanted a little clarity,
yeah,
in
so
terms of the
typically,
submission.
one easier aspect is the ICF website itself offers a space where they offer a model contract. So you can use the model contract when you are contracting for coaching. So make it clear that specifically in your case, make it a very clear contract that everything is part of the contract. In case ICF asks, you can always respond to that. So they are sure that this is a contracting. And because they're not coming to you for therapy when they're coming to coaching, so that aspect in terms of your role is very clearly defined when they come to you. And also complementing Rahul's sharing of maybe 600, 700 coaches that I met in the last 2, 3 years, I haven't found anybody who's come back to me and said, you know what, ICF asked for my log. It's a word of honor kind of a thing.
No, of course, that goes
Yeah,
without saying. That's part of any profession, actually. So yeah.
yeah. So,
Right. But thank you so much. Thank you, Rahul.
right.
Thanks, Sunil.
Most
Yes.
welcome.
And yeah, Anjali and Rahul, you want to take up the preparation, your experiences? Over to
Yeah,
you.
sure. I can say what I did this time was I didn't rely on any mock test because there was no mock test for the ACC. I think what was given in the website was already given with the answers. So I didn't even follow that on the ICF website. And I wanted to understand the competencies and the ethics the way I wanted to understand and not the way ICF has put it out. So for each, let me start with the competency. For if competency one is uh, demonstrate ethical standards and standard of ethics during coaching. So for each and every competency definition and subcompetency, I put who, what, why, when, where. So who is demonstrating ethics? The coach. why? Because it's important, or it's ethical standards. When during the coaching session, during contracting, even after the coaching session ends, where let it be virtual or in person, then each and every word I just underlined, saying that okay, in this particular definition, this word is important. In the sub-competency, this particular word is important. I did that for all 8 competencies and whatever the sub-competencies were under the main topics. While doing this, while I finished competency one, making notes, I took a black pen to say that, okay, this is good, I can go ahead. I took a red pen to say, no, this is not good, so don't go ahead with this. So that's how I dissected the yes and no, or the best and worst. While doing so for each competency, then I also saw the videos of Peter J. Redding. Is there on YouTube. He explains each competency, the definition very well. And that helped a lot in terms of competencies, especially ICF, the earlier exam which I took. They play with a lot of words, and it's important to understand those words as such, to capture those words. So that can lead you to identify the right and the wrong answer in the earlier format. So when I went to ethics, I pretty much did the same thing. And this time I didn't see the ethical videos on YouTube, but I just wrote down each and every ethic, took a printout as well, and understood it in my way. I just put it like who's demonstrating ethics, why is it important, what is confidentiality, breach of confidentiality. So there are 4 different aspects in ethics: society, profession, personal, and I think for one more thing. So those things I classified it, and again dissected it with the words I could understand. And thinking from the exam point of view, I was just thinking that this time I'm going to be a human being helping another human being who has a personal or a professional challenge. As to earlier, I was like, oh, okay, they gave the pad and pen when I went to the center last time. So I wrote down everything like ACC, ACE, traps, and all those acronyms which were discussed in the group preparation sessions. So this time I just kept it aside and focused only on these things which I had made for myself. It did have a few nuances. Questions were maximum 3 lines, not more than that. The nuance was between a competency and an ethic, or between 2 competencies. So, and it did also have 1-line questions. So say remains focused, observant, empathetic, and response to, belongs to dash competency. So you'll have to know that, okay, comes under listens actively, or facilitates learning and growth, or maintains presence, or embodies mindset. There'll be 4 options given. So you have to choose the best only, like Sunil had said earlier.
Interesting. Rahul, so this is interesting because that was not the old format thing. So very similar-ish to CK this point of time. So what sentence is part of what competency?
What? Sorry?
So if say one sentence is there, they'll ask which competency does it belong to. So if that is
Yeah.
the format, then that was not how, say, if you remember the older PCC and ACC being a similar one, it was not the same format. So that format had longer answers. You have to really concentrate on the question as well as on the this thing. And each of the answers is also like 2 lines.
Yeah. Yeah. That's right.
This
Yeah.
time around, I think the slightly, I won't say 2 lines, but like a longer sentence were, I think, in the scenario-based questions. I
Mm,
think ethics and competencies are fairly, shorter and simpler. But of course, that, really carefully reviewing the words is, as Rahul also
mm,
mentioned, as ICF can really play around with words, is where I think the true, that thing of really clearing the exam lies. And just to add on to what Rahul said, and very interestingly, he mentioned the the what, who, why of each competency. There's also a visual, since we were in competencies, a visual way that I created, which really worked for me. Otherwise, because I've always, as a student, I've always been somebody who mugged things and kind of remember things. So it helps me that way. So I'll just quickly. So I just kind of want to piece of paper, I put all the 8 competencies. I hope it's visible.
Just a
I
second. I
just
think
kind of
I'll spotlight you. Now, can you show it? Yeah, all
what?
8 competencies
All the
are
eight
basically put.
competencies.
Yeah.
Yeah, I put that on a piece of A4 paper and I created these flashcards. So these are nothing
Mm.
but, all the sub competencies. So, for example, if the first one under the first competency, demonstrate personal integrity and honesty. So, what I did was some of the competencies are like, longer sentences. So, you may not be able to remember all of it. So, really go through all the competencies and put it in your own words, which makes sense to you, which makes it easier for you to remember. So here integrity was, demonstrate personal integrity and honesty. So integrity was something that I wanted to kind of, have that as a recall. In competency two, for example, the I think the last one, last sub competency, seek help when necessary. So here I have put that on the piece of paper and highlighted help, right? So help became that keyword for me to remember. So similarly, I went through all sub competencies, created the flashcards, highlighted the keyword. Now, once I had all the keywords, I created a acronym for each competency. So, for example, for CC1, the acronym that I used was Dr. Caris. So D standard for distinction between coaching and therapy and psychotherapy. R standard for respectful language. C was for confidentiality. So that's how I created an acronym for each competency. So there was an instant recall for me. So, and as Rahul mentioned, that the question format may be that they have mentioned a sub competency and they ask you which competency it lies in. So it's easier to remember that way, or vice versa, that they've given you a competency and ask you, okay, which sub competency is comes under that. So this was very, very helpful for me, and I think I would. And this is not something that I devised. I found it online. Forgot to kind of keep track of whose video it was. Some kind lady who had also recently cleared her ACC exam, she shared this format and I used it. And I think this was the key reason where I could, clear my exam. So yeah, that was very helpful for me. I mean, happy to share all the acronyms, but I think it would be better for people to go through it on their own, create what makes sense to them, and then, create their own acronyms. So
Yeah.
it's easier to register and kind of remember.
Yeah. So maybe one point I wanted to make is like coaching, where the client finds their own solutions in their own format. Preparation also becomes your own journey, and
Yeah.
what works for Rahul may not work for Dr. Mukta, and what works for Anjali may not work for me, and it can go all around the place. So what you are getting to now understand is what all possibilities can be done. But I'd always urge you to look at what works for you when you are preparing for the examination.
Yeah,
Yeah.
so apart from these two, right, competencies and ethics, for me, there were also some questions based on therapy. So, yeah, the client comes into a session, he or she looks depressed. So that's how it started. And it goes on to say that the clients want to express themselves, but keeping very quiet. So the coach is holding space, something like that. So please also go through the white paper of therapy, as it will guide you to as to when to refer a client, why is it important to refer, uh, how to refer, and to whom.
Yeah.
That
I
was
think
one of the things which came across, and also the agreements, right? The bi and tri-party agreements. One or
Yeah.
two, there were not one or two, there were a few questions based on agreements, especially with confidentiality. When is confidentiality maintained? When it cannot be maintained? Suppose a client is causing a threat to himself, or say that he comes and says, I want to kill somebody, for example. So that's when a coach is not supposed to maintain confidentiality, because it's like a threat, and it can harm himself or others.
Yeah.
So again, that's a part of confidentiality, a question as such. So when it comes to the nuanced questions, if you have taken the old exam, don't even think about that. This is a new phase. I'm sorry, it's a new format. Go with a fresh mind, saying that I'm going to go ahead with this, and it's relatively simpler when compared to the situational based. So there's not you have enough time. You have 39 minutes for each section, and you have enough time to even think it, flag it, finish that particular section, sorry, and go back to your flagged questions and choose the best answer. So no, don't rush through it. I mean, reading these 2 to 3 lines, I read it slowly, and I could understand that yes, there is some I could associate it with the answer directly, and for which I had to think that okay, this can be better or this can be better. I just flagged it, and after I finished the first section, I came back to those flagged ones, finished those. I just made a note of it in my pad, which they give in the center. I went back to those and unflagged them, answered them. Same thing I did for the second section as well. So the 10-minute break they give, it's not, it's up to you whether you want to use the entire 10 minutes or, shorter break if you want. That's up to you completely. I took it like a shorter break. I took it just a 5-minute break, just went to wash my face and had some water and came back. So any other things like when
I'll
it
just
comes
correct you there. Sorry, one point you mentioned, Rahul. I'll just like to make a correction there. You mentioned 39 minutes for each section. All the people who are appearing from India, because India, by as per ICF, it recognizes India as a non-English speaking country. So whenever people go to book their exam, even if we don't ask for any accommodation, time accommodation, I got 150 minutes, and that's an automatic extension that ICF
automatic, yeah, ICF
provide.
gives it
So,
automatically.
yeah, so essentially people have 2.5 hours for the exam and not so which breaks it down to about
150
150 minutes, yeah,
minutes.
about 70 minutes for each section. So
Yeah,
there's enough and more time for all the review and really, going slow with the flagged questions. So sorry to interrupt. I just wanted to make that little correction.
no problem, no problem. I
So
can
it's
show
30
you.
questions plus 30 questions, is it? It's 60 questions.
60 questions, 150 minutes, including a 10-minute break. I personally did not take a break,
Mm.
but yeah, if you want to, it can be between both the sections or even between a section if it's like, you really need to. And
Wow. So they made it really friendly for people appearing for it. So
yes, but
it wasn't so.
you're not allowed water inside, you're not allowed anything at all. They just give you like a pad, as Rahul also mentioned, for any
Mm.
notes, anything they would like to make in a pen or a pencil that they
Yeah,
put in the
yeah, yeah.
center. And that's about it really. So
Yeah, and I think that's only if you're doing it in a physical center.
Yeah,
Because if you're doing it at home, like you have to do a 360 show
full,
up
full.
to the profter. Nothing should be there. Nobody should be inside. I'm not sure about water. I think water is available. You can drink it.
No
But
water.
generally, for example, your vision should be on the screen itself. So you can't be like I can't think like this and look at somewhere else. So that's the kind of experiences I have heard from different people that they were not comfortable with the proctor being there. It's a little too difficult for them to be themselves and sit with some of those.
Hmm.
So even I have done all for the ACC as well as PCC at the center, and that's the only place where you get to write it. So that's a typical advantage of getting to a center and actually start working there.
yeah, I definitely didn't want to risk with my internet and something conking off in between. So I'm like, might as well go to the center. And if,
I
I mean, at least
know.
in Delhi, I don't know about other states, there were enough and more centers all around me. So it was easier to pick one nearby.
I completely understand. So one of the other experiences I've had with somebody was from AM to PM. Right? She did not while booking it on an online, so at home kind of a thing. Put it at 11:30 p.m. And it was 3 hours. That was the PCC, 4 hours. And it was. She said I slept through and I could not pass. So I went back to ICF saying, there is some problem, and she had to write it all over again. So some problem happened and while that exam, something crashed at 1:30 at home, and she had to go reappear for the exam and stuff like that. So it's easier to do it at a in-person kind of a thing. Makes it a lot more easier. So yeah. So Swati and Anam, you have something to ask? You can.
Yeah, my query is for Anjali. Could you explain again once more what was this extension time thingy that you were talking about?
Right. So if you go and look at the ICA website, essentially it will mention that the total duration of the exam is 80 minutes, 80 or 90 minutes, 90 minutes with including a 10-minute break. But once you book your exam, you make the payment and all of that. People who are appearing from India, I'm not talking about other countries, we get an automatic extension of 1 hour because I believe they consider India as a non-English speaking country, like it's not a native language to us. So we get a 60-minute extension of time. So overall, we have 150 minutes to give our exam, which includes two sections of 30 questions each and a 10-minute break. So you have 2.5 hours to write that exam.
So unlike other countries, the native English speaking countries, we get an extension. Do I get that
You
right?
get it. Yeah.
Correct.
Thank you.
Any non-native English-speaking country gets that 1 hour extension.
Right.
Yeah. And in
I
case some places you want
Yeah.
to have something, you can actually explicitly write to ICF saying that there is a query, I need more time. As in, sometimes somebody who's taking it is, say, physically challenged or pregnant, or could be a variety of reasons, or has special needs, etc. So that can be written to the ICF, and you can avail some time changes. But
Comedy.
I'm not sure exactly if it's the hour, or there is a possibility that you can write and try.
Right.
Yeah.
While booking the exam, there will be a section like in the link called accommodations. That is where any special request go in, and it could, as Sunil said, it could be time variation or something else. But this extension of 60 minutes for people appearing from India is a by default
Yeah.
offering, at least as of now.
Yeah, you can't undo
Oh,
it, as in nobody wants to let go of that 1 hour, but it's default, and you don't get more than 1 hour. So that's the so you can you cannot ask for more than the hour.
yeah. Once you apply in the ICF website for the exam and you get a mail, it will be mentioned in the mail.
Yeah,
You'll
in the
have
mail, not
all, yeah, you will mention your country where you're applying from, right? So if you mention India when you get the mail, you'll say that the exam is 150 sorry, 150 minutes.
yeah.
I think Anam had a question. Her hand is still raised.
Yeah, I had a similar question. You have answered it. However, the second question is, as per your experience, which I'm not in India right now, I'm in UAE. So, do you think 150 minutes are enough to attempt that question, or it's really like might stress the candidate?
No, no, not at all. It's stressful. I had prepared only for 2 weeks, and in those 2 weeks, I prepared only for around 2 hours in the morning and about an hour in the evening. I didn't want to rush through it. I took my own time and did the preparation. So when I went to the center, what I suggest is that a day or two before the exam, stop studying, stop thinking about the exam, do whatever you want. You go for a movie or out with friends or spend time with family, just relax. And that made me feel that, yes, I'm not going to go there and take this exam again. All those things didn't come. So when I went there, I went to the center a day before I took the exam. I'm sorry, 2 days before. Just wanted to visit and see how the space is. It was good. The proctor was nice. He said that, yes, I can give you a private cabin. Don't worry. And it so happened that one particular day, I was lucky that no one else was there in the center. So taking the exam or doing some particular course, certain centers have that. So it was only me in the center and the proctor outside. He was not even sitting behind me. So yeah, so that made me feel very much relaxed. And as I started off, I saw the first question, second question. It went on pretty smooth, and I didn't stress out. And like I had said earlier, if something I had a doubt to choose the best answer, I just put a mark on it, a flag. I just flagged that question, and went ahead. And given the time of 39 minutes, you can easily finish the 30 questions. You can also flag a few questions if you want to come back and recheck, and you'll have enough time for both the sections. So
Okay.
there's not nothing to be stressed about. Yeah. So this is like comparatively simpler than the credential exam, which was common for ACC and PCC. And Yeah, the slight nuances. Just remember that these Americans, I think they like to use them, they very much in their sentences. So
Hmm.
just read through who are they meaning by them. It can be the coach or the client, or it can be the sponsor or the stakeholder. So just be clear with that. And when you read the question, you will understand.
Yeah.
Uh,
Okay. One.
Reading the
Just
question is something very important. I think that's the most important aspect of it.
it's
one
just
another
a
question. Sorry.
Yeah, go ahead,
Go
Anam.
ahead.
Yeah.
So another question was that I heard Sunil you saying that the format has been changed recently. So do we or are there any sample questionnaires or available on the site, or how do we see that? What's the new approach?
sample questions are there in the ICA website, but hack over there is they've already highlighted the answer for each question.
Hmm.
So there'll be a question given, there'll be four options given, and every question will end with saying what is the best the coach should do. So every best option or every best answer is already highlighted in the ICF website, and that is why I didn't rely on any kind of sample exams. There were so many earlier which was there for the credentials, right? So in the credential exam, there were quite a few coaching schools came up with so many mock exams and stuff. So this time I didn't rely on anything. I didn't even join any group to study as such. So I did it all by myself because I had faced that time thrice, and I was like, okay, this time I'm going to be on my own and do it the way I want to and not the way ICF wants me to. Okay, credential is given by ICF, but the exam is going to be taken by me. So I have to
So,
be me and remove that coaching, wearing the hat of a human and not as a coach. And that helped me better understand and relate to those questions. So that connection of a human and the competency came during the exam naturally.
so my
So Rahul,
institute
are
where
you
I am
saying?
taking, please go on.
Sorry, Swati.
No, just want to say that my institute has come up with a questionnaire. It's called Alpha Stars. It's a Delhi-based organization. You can get in touch with them. They can give you a sample test. So
Hmm.
just wanted to let everybody know here in case you're
Yeah.
looking out for a practice, they are offering it.
And so I think now
Okay.
every organization is coming up with a similar structure. So my only request is that you do not rely only on that in your this thing. It is only to be taken as a proxy to build your confidence. That's the only space I want to let everybody know that it is not the questions will not be the same. It may be similar. You
Mhm.
always attempt every one of that with the same, and take everything with a pinch of salt because it will change. The ICF knows that every other organization is to do it, so they will up their game because the coveted piece of it is that it is a gold standard, a platinum standard. And getting the hours now is not as difficult as it was before. The hours can be, built in. And they really want to look at the ACC to mean something and PCC to mean something and MCC to mean something. So they will test you. So be open to that in terms of the mock exam. And too many mock exams will spoil the preparation. Either you are underconfident or overconfident. So choose your poison there. Don't do too many things in the same place. That said and done, yeah, I think just go online. If you just ask, one of my friend had done a chat GPT thing with this saying, these are core competencies. Can you ask me questions as to what it is? So it is still possible. It's at the end of the day, how confident you feel while getting into the exam. And yeah, so Anam, you had something. Sorry, I barged
Yeah,
in.
exactly, Sunil. I'm just building on what you said. So I'm just trying to understand why Rahul is saying that he did not rely on the answers, because probably it sets the mindset, no? Because that's the best answer somebody has suggested. You might agree, you might not agree. So not to rely on these answers and rather have a understanding from your perspective and then you respond. That's why you do not suggest relying on those. Is that the reason?
Not necessarily. It is basically like, how you work in terms of being confident versus underconfident and overconfident. Because sometimes if your answers are not coming right in the mock test, it is not directly an indication as to how it will come in the exam directly. Because most of the times, the people who have taken the exam will forget what the questions are as soon as they come out of this, because they are like, either they've cleared the exam and they don't want to listen to it anymore, whether they or they've not cleared the exam and they still don't want to go back to that anymore. Right. So they will not be able to remember 60 questions and 40, four options, which is typically 240 things to, 300 things to remember. That will not happen. So these inputs will come back to the coaching organization and it will get, remodified with their this thing. And the over reliance on too many mock tests will either make you underconfident or overconfident, which may not
Mhm.
always reflect 100% how the exam while you actually take it happens. So that placebo effect is what I'm trying to sort of put it into your notice that something will happen.
Understood.
And Rahul's place in terms of the ICF website stuff is that the answer is already given. They are marked. So you are biased towards that answer. So you are not trying to think on the answer. That's the thing he's mentioning in terms
Hmm.
of the ICF website stuff. But it will at least help you. That's your option one or option zero in terms of going and seeing, saying, oh, what kind of questions will come? Because otherwise, it's a very dark space. There's too many unknowns. This will at
Hmm.
least help you get at least some level of radar functioning to say, oh, this is how we can expect a question. This is how we can expect the options. But it is not to be taken in saying this is how it will always be. It is more of a general idea about how it was, how it will be.
To add on to
Uh,
that, I think I would say, agreeing with Sunil. So when I took the mock test and I did this, something that was designed by Solutions Academy. So the questions were, or rather the answers, the options were so, the language of it, or they were so obvious that even if you don't study competencies and ethics, you'd still know. If you just use some, basic sense, and if you know the coaching process, you'll be able to answer, and you'll be like scoring maybe, 100 out of 100 kind of a scenario. But then in the real exam, the options can be a little more confusing. So you really need to like sit with it, give it 2 minutes, read it a couple of times, and of course, all your knowledge of ethics and your coaching practice and competencies. If I were to break it down, I would say three ways to look at the kind of questions there could be. One is definition based. So what we know is no, I mean, what is defined by ICF. So that's what you need to rely on. Second thing is your coaching practice. So basically getting into that coaching mindset, keeping, choosing options which are client focused, client centric, which are very collaborative and partnering, and not in a, very suggestive or telling mode. Third is purely based on the competencies and the ethics. Like, I don't know, initially, as Rahul was mentioning, that they may give a sub competency that, where does adapting to the client's need come in. So they'll give four competencies and then you choose the one, or vice versa. So these are the three formats in which they put the answers. So for example, for me, I think I got at least three questions just on conflict of interest. So, which were scenario based, that, which scenario would lead to a conflict of interest between the coach and the client, or the coach and the sponsor. So that's where that coaching practice and knowledge of ethics came into play. So, yeah.
Yeah. Thank you.
Jyoti, you have something to ask?
I just wanted to ask my question. Of course, all the questions have been already answered here. I just wanted to know that suppose you start planning. I mean, I know that everyone's retention power is different, but when you start planning, approximately how much time do you think you can actually prepare for an ACC exam? Like at least, I need to know that, okay, I can give it by September, October, or maybe March next year, or what is it like? I'm not getting any idea. So,
So,
Anjali, how long did it take you? And Rahul, how long did it
mm,
take you? And
Uh,
Rahul, anyways, you try all sorts of stunts, so I don't know if I trust you. You
how
can go
long
for a
how long
yeah
will it take me for?
to
preparing for the exam.
prepare. Like from the day you think that I just thought about preparing my ACC. So
For
how long would it take me?
preparing for the exam.
Yeah.
Yeah, 2 weeks of preparation. Then I took about a 3 day break, and then I just revised for another 1 week.
2 weeks of preparation?
Yeah.
And
Yeah,
let's forget about you, Rahul.
two
Anjali is
two
better
hours,
present.
two
You are
No,
hours
not
plus.
present, Rahul.
I did it in a very relaxed way. I was not in a hurry. I was not like saying that, oh, if I don't take it now, when can I take it? Nothing. I was just very relaxed. So I was like, okay, let me do two competencies today and close the book, close the laptop, and then next day two other competencies. So one day two competencies, two, four, six, eight competencies. It took me around 4 days to finish, and videos along with that also. Like I gave enough time to my time for myself to go through all that and to take my own time to do it. Like
But it takes
I
you one day to read that one video of Jerry Reddings that he told me. It took
yeah,
me
it's
one day to
it's
watch one video of Jerry Reddings. So he's got about, I think, 8, 10 videos. So it takes you
yeah,
8 to 10 days for
eight
that.
videos. Eight videos
Yeah,
is
to
going to
read
take
the
you.
ethics. So
Ethics videos I didn't watch this time. I had already watched it earlier, thrice, when
you
I
had
took.
done it earlier. So I'm asking totality. In
Uh,
totality, it can't be in
yeah,
two
so
weeks. Yeah.
this time it is. I just took it my way, and I thought backward. Like, if there are going to be so many X number of questions, how much time should I need to invest? And that came to, and then I understood that, yeah, if I do it this way, for me, this suited me. It might not suit everyone, or you might have your own way of approaching. So I thought of it that way. Okay, if I would do two ethics and two competencies in one day, that's enough. A morning I spend 2 hours, evening I spend 2 hours, maximum
Okay.
4 hours a day. So that I did for 2 weeks, and then the 3 days break I took, I didn't even focus on anything. And the revision which I did was not again go through the ethics and competencies entirely, but how I broke it down, how I connected the competencies, how I came to understand those acronyms, and make it simpler for my understanding.
But
That's
when
all I
you
did.
said this time, you made it say you given the exam earlier. So you had kind of prepared earlier also.
I
When you were
had,
already prepared, then you just revised it once again. That was in 2 weeks.
huh.
It took you 2 weeks again to revise the whole thing all over again.
Yeah, because like when I took the exam last time, it was sometime last year in the month of June or July. After that, I didn't even have anything to do with competencies. I got frustrated and I closed everything. And I was like, whenever the next, whenever the next, hopefully the ICF changes the ACC exam format, I'll start preparing then. So then I
Okay.
heard from somebody had posted in the group saying that starting November 18, ACC exam format is going to be changed.
Mm-hmm.
So then I was like, oh, okay, finally ICF has come to understand that, there's a difference between the ACC training and the PCC training, and the questions also were similar. So great, they have come to come. The universe has blessed me, saying that Rahul, this is your chance. Go forward and crack it.
Okay. So you
Yeah.
already prepared earlier, somewhat at least, when you gave it once. So what I'm saying is, if I'm just starting off right now,
So
I
for me
just
to answer your question, since I appeared for my exam for the first time, I would still say, I think, I mean, of course, everybody has their own pace and way of learning, as Rahul also rightly highlighted. I also took just a couple of days of prep. So it really depends on how much time you're putting, how, what way do you kind of absorb that knowledge. And at the end of the day, you can't really remember and read every single thing that's out there. So that is where your all your training, all these months of coaching practice that you've been doing, all the conversations you've been having. So I think that also comes in really handy in really understanding the context of that question. So I think over prepping is not the answer here. But as far as and you were there in the last call as well, and we had a very detailed conversation, and I shared that format that I like for me, and I was sharing. I've been a mugger all my life, so this visual representation of small points was easy, and it just took me a couple of days to prepare it, honestly. I didn't over prepare, I didn't go through much videos, and that's all I did. So yeah, that's again, I mean, to kind of sum it up, I would say 2 weeks tops if
oh my
you
God,
put your mind to it.
I can't think of any
Okay,
prepared in two
Jyoti,
weeks. So
two
I think
weeks is decent enough in terms of the overall
I
preparation.
was thinking of September, October.
So
two
yeah,
to
I
three
think if you're
months.
looking at September to October, start from now in terms of revising what competencies are.
Yeah,
Do it
exactly.
once, say maybe even 10 minutes a day kind of a thing. So all the things that you are already knowing is only more of a fine tuning of some of those nuance based is what is happening here. So you're not trying to learn competencies right away because competencies is learned. So you know what is contracting, you know how it is, you know what is mentoring, coaching, training. So it is more of an embodying some of those aspects into your questions that are coming there. So it is not a zero sum game. You've already done some part of your work. It is more a
Yeah.
refining some of that. The second bit of it is, yeah, there are videos that you can start watching from right now that will help you sort of offload some of the mental pressure around saying, oh, the exam, should I not? So
Mhm.
that you can start doing. All your resources of preparation are already with the ICF website. The ethics, the videos, the main YouTube videos, everything is officially available from the ICF.
Okay.
Go through with that first, and then slowly add on to the layers of, say, Peter Redding, then the other lady. Mm,
Raisa
yeah, so
Dihar.
Lisa DeHart. And then if still it is something that's confusing to you, Anjali, Rahul, and anyways, I am always there. I will drill it into you
That
in
that
terms of
of
how the
course.
competencies are. Yeah. So I did try that out after my PCC, saying I'll do a 1 week course of explaining core competencies and how nuances are there. But then somehow I find it too much of work for this, and I also could not tell myself that I helped this coach pass the exam. Somehow ethically it didn't work out because I saw others do it, and I said, no, that's not how I want to do it. So I let that go of that completely. But I'd be happy to help you in terms of just understanding some of those core competencies in also the light of a possible examination question.
Okay.
And that will be easier to work with because everybody has a different timeline. I can't say, okay, 2 weeks, 10 days, 15 days, 1 month. But over preparation is also not
Hmm.
advisable.
So what I'm doing is I'm doing coaching in the mornings, 2 hours peer coaching, and in the evenings I'm spending 3 hours of studying in the one competency.
Yo, for then it is, you
So
are doing a
I've just
PhD,
started.
no?
So I've just done three competencies so far.
Jyoti, 3 hours per competency. You have your speed and this best, but I think 3 hours
So
per
maybe
competency.
that's why I'm having a burnout and high blood pressure.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. No. Now, if need be, I'll sit with you in terms of how you want to sort of work with that. Possibly with an examination focus, if you're looking at it, it may not need 3 hours per competency to look at
Yeah,
it.
that's true.
I just have a phobia of examination phobia since childhood. And I think if
So,
someone just randomly gives me some questions to answer, I'll answer immediately. But when they say the word exam, was always given me this,
yeah, no, I
because
think that's something you'll have to work and like take it to your peer coaching to sort of work on it in
yeah,
terms of.
that's what I thought. I thought that one of these days I'm going to take it up with a peer coach about the examination phobia, how to get over it.
Uh, I think that's something you need to work through. But otherwise, the structures in terms of the preparation content is already available to you. The preparation way is again subject to your way of learning.
But Rahul is my
And
accountability partner, so I'm sure he's going to help me.
yeah, I
Rahul,
think
don't just ignore
you have
this.
help.
I've made Rahul my accountability partner. Since he has gone through, he might as well help me.
Yeah, so you have help generally from a tribe of coaches and also outside that a lot of people who after they finish the exam are very happy to tell you what they did and what worked for you, what worked for them.
Yeah,
But
Anjali's
don't, yeah,
enthusiasm says it all.
mm,
She's so
yeah. So
enthusiastic just 1 week after the exam.
my only concern is don't go into too many recipes. If you get into too many recipes, you'll forget what you actually went into. So keep that around two or maximum three people that you sort of go and
No,
connect
I
with,
don't.
not
Yeah.
everybody else. That's the only thing there. And what else? It's a mental game at the end of the day, irrespective of whether you take the ACC exam or the PCC exam. It's a mental game. If you don't get the answer right away, flag, move, and don't be jumping into only one question. There are no negative markings as such. Everything has a weightage in those 60 questions. You will have to get, I think, 460 out of 600 in that particular stage, which is easier to look at it mostly from a 75% of your answers need to be correct. So that pressure is also there, that you have one fourth to let go of. That I think all of us want to do as well as possible, but even 460 is a pass, 480 is a pass, 500 is a pass, 600 is a pass. So as long as 460 is something that you're looking at it, that's as interesting as possible. There will be questions where you don't have to think on too much. So it is very obvious. So you get time more than that is required. Read your questions properly, read your options properly. And I think that solves most of this thing. Don't answer it for yourself. Answer it in the way that is right from the ICF point of view. You may have a personal opinion on it that may differ from what the four options are. Because as soon as you read the question, you formed an answer, and the answer is not available in the four. Then you are at a then you say, oh, you are trying to look at in your head. The answer is there, which is the most equivalent to that. Keep yourself like a coach. There is no judgment on the question or also on the answers that are given or the ICF examination as such. You're looking at it purely from client space. And as soon as you've done question number one, you don't think about question number one, you go to question number two. So you already let go of whatever has happened in question number one, you've gone to question number two, and you move. And I'll I'll tell this to everybody every time that I talk about the examination. Your capacity and capability as a coach is not being measured in the coaching in the ICF. There could be bad days. There could be a possibility that you will be able to clear it as is. There is equal possibility that it may not happen. If in case it does not happen, it does not make you a bad coach, bad person, bad, the rest of all the bad structures that are there. You continue to be a human that you are. You always have another opportunity to jump forward. And when you finish your ACC or your PCC, the next bit of your journey in terms of self learning and continuous learning begins and it takes over. So it is a milestone. It is an event. It is a milestone, but it is not everything that defines you as a coach. So with that, actually, your pressure on yourself should reduce in terms of getting to the exam. And the other things, I think, when you're getting closer to the exam, if you've done all the other tick marks, as in your recording is passed, your hours are done, your mentoring is done. So mentally set a date and work backwards. Because if
All
not,
time
then
is
you're
done.
always going to be, putting it today, tomorrow kind of a thing. Mentally set yourself a timeline and say today, say this is 9th, I'm doing it on 20th of July, sorry, 20th of June, and then just go backwards,
Yeah.
and you will still have enough time, even if it's a one week or 10 days kind of a thing, you'll still have time.
Why
Yes,
is it that people say that that why don't you give your PCC directly? Why are you giving ACC?
that's a choice. So right
No,
now,
but
I think
is
that is
there
less of a
any
thing.
okay?
Sorry. Yeah, complete a question.
No, they're just like everyone's telling me that because earlier I did decide to give my PCC directly. That's why I was laid back and sitting tight. That okay, I'll give my PCC after completing 500 hours. But then suddenly I decided when I approach people for any kind of work, they want some kind of credential, even if it's ACC. So I thought, okay, let me do ACC at least. People say no, it's best if you just do PCC directly. So why do they really say that? I don't like to argue too much with
It's a time.
everybody.
Time-based thing, because 500 hours is not going to be easy. So if there are opportunities that are coming by, if you have ACC, it is a credentialing, credibility, visibility. You can put yourself out there kind of a thing. With PCC, the training that you've had with PCC, embodying that will generally take time. So 500 hours is a good time to actually get there. So ACC is one of those places where people tell themselves that 500 will take a long time. Might as well get to 100. Mentally, it's a milestone, and for them saying, okay, I've gotten to this point in this place, right?
Mhm.
So that's how ACC and PCC are sort of designed. If from a point of view from the customer side, I would say the credentialing is important. That's the first step. So ACC would obviously mean that, yeah, you're done 100 hours. PCC means slightly higher in terms of your coaching competencies and coaching experience. So that's where the pricing, all that will come into play. So that those are all considerations. And there was also a space if you wanted to do your PCC directly. The 500 hours wait is a long time. So some of them chose to write the ACC like previous to this exam.
Mhm.
They wrote the ACC with the older exam format and then used the next 1 year to build their 400 hours plus the 60 hours of coach training. So that's somehow they didn't have to write the exam again. So again, there's a whole thing around exam being too heavy and a lot of that stuff. So some of them chose this route. It's more of a personal space, and that's about it. But if you say I will do 500, that's a marathon.
Yeah.
So you should be mentally ready for that marathon and then take it up. But nothing from an examination point of view, it is too heavy a differentiation except the format of it. It
Yeah.
is made easier for somebody with 100 hours of experience versus somebody with 500 hours of experience. So there is now, right now, a distinction in the way the format is and the questions are asked. So it's
Mhm.
only that.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you
I
so much.
think for me personally, it was just I need something to show for, so I stay motivated. Because 500 feels like, such a far-fetched dream right now. But I'm hoping to get there soon. But yeah, for me,
Yeah.
that's what the
So
reason.
people have
Yeah.
become aware. So all these corporates now they ask you for your credentialing. Now they become aware. The HR will always ask you.
Yeah, so HR, I don't see, Jyoti, I somehow take offense to that question. HR has become aware that they are now, somebody has told everybody in that circle saying, you should look at PCCs because ACC is both aware. So
Okay.
that's the thing, everybody is looking at a PCC. But there is a change when somebody embodies the PCC mindset. The way they coach it is beautiful. So if you like my coaching, that is to a large extent an embodiment of some of the coaching aspects. You see how it changes the way the client works. I don't have a video of my ACC days, so you will have to trust me when I say my what would used to take me 4 hours when I was coaching from an ACC competency point of view. It takes me now 1 hour or even less than that to bring the same with the PCC structures at play.
Mhm.
So the who of the client is far more important from there. So that changes in terms of a fundamental attitude from ACC to PCC, and MCC is again mastery at it at a space.
Your
So
coaching is barely talking. You are just pausing. That's all. It's a very funny style of coaching. I don't know how you do it, but you just pause and pause and pause. That's all.
yeah, so that's how it works. The pause makes the change. All right. So I think we've covered all that aspects, eligibility, preparation, mindset, thought process, how to handle the exam. So anything from Dr. Mukta and Abhirami, because you've been quiet for the entire space.
No, all the questions has been answered, and they both explained so well, and you also explained so well. And both of the girls were asking the questions, and the last one, madam, who was asking the question, it's completely clear. He gave another dimension of the exam. What I was thinking, had a clear picture, having a clear picture. Thank
Thanks,
you for the
thanks.
wonderful session, Anjali, Rahul, and
Yeah, one last thing which I would like to say 2 days before the exam, just relax. Don't do anything before that, please. Yeah, that really will actually calm you down. And I didn't even
I
see any of the WhatsApp groups where they were saying, okay, which this is the question, is D the best, is C the best? I was like, no, I'm not seeing anything. Let me go watch some movie or some. Let me go ride my bike or go to the beach or play with some animals or dogs. That's what I was doing for the last 2 days.
Mine
Was
is,
And
yeah.
to,
different.
So,
I want to sleep in the last 2 nights. I'm telling you, I'll have sleepless nights. And maybe when I'm giving the paper, I'll be all sleepy.
yeah, interesting.
So there are
Yeah,
two
Anjali.
different
Just
aspects.
from a process point of view, just one thing that I think I forgot to mention was once you apply for your exam, basically submit all these, certificate to ICF, there will be a few days of gap where the ICF will be reviewing your application. So it may take anywhere between a week to I think 2 weeks
10
is
days, yeah.
what they say. Yeah, 10 days. And that's when you will get an email with that, okay, your application has been approved, and now you get the link to book your exam. So there is that gap of 10 days also between applying and really booking your exam date. So that is also a wonderful opportunity to prepare for your exam and kind of, get into that zone of giving your exam. So yeah.
Yeah. So when you get
right,
the date,
so
when ICF comes back, you have a 2 month window to choose the date you get to write the exam.
and it also depends upon ACTP and ACSTH is different.
Time delay, yeah.
Yeah, the time, because it took me about 4 weeks to hear back from ICS, whereas 4 to 6 weeks apparently, between 4 and 6. And
Yeah,
for ACTP, it is much more faster, two
much more
weeks to
faster.
2.5 weeks.
Because they have to review your audio as well. So ACSTF, they have
Uh,
to review your audio. But I applied in Feb beginning, Rahul, and my exam dates were given, or the email came to me on April end, right? So I took it in May mid. So it was almost 2.5 months of not knowing if I have passed the audio or nothing like that. But I was very confident it'll pass. So yeah, that was set in place. But your results of the IC or the ACC exam is on the spot. So as soon as you finish this, you go outside. That guy will give you a guy or girl will give a printout. So based on his expression, you will know whether you passed or failed because he will know first.
hmm.
There
And
was
that's
in the international coaching week, there was that senior citizen who had come and said, "Oh, he finished the paper 15 minutes in advance," only to come out and realize that he had failed by 15 marks. Even follows up, wow, I finished the exam.
yeah.
Wow, excellent. Look at all these cases I'm
Uh,
trying to give. And when he
I
went
think
out, his face went
yes.
white, seeing his blood.
That happens. There's some lovely experiences and then not so lovely experiences with coaching. So I slept for some time in the hall part A, and so part B when we went in, so I finished earlier and I said, yeah, I'm done. So I was done almost like 30 minutes into it. So 4 hours, I had the 4 hour this thing for PCC and I said 4 hours I can't sit. So yeah, I like Rahul said, I had like a good lunch, properly set, all things. Getting into it, it felt like I'm going into a picnic for 4 hours, and that's it. Finish, come back. Yeah. So, and I think Dr. Mukta had something to share, and I'll,
I was I hope I'm audible.
yes, you are.
Got
Yeah,
Yes.
yeah. Good evening, all. First of all, many thanks for the session, and thanks to Anjali. She just sent me a message in the evening that if I could join. So, at least it's cleared my, what to say, clarity on this. I'm on my journey of PCC, and I've been into coaching practice for past 10 years, but with the companies. Okay, so it's a professional, what you say, stamping, which I'm trying to get, but it's given me food for thought whether to do the ACC or to continue with PCC. So thanks for those insights. So I'll just dwell over it. And we all are very proud of Anjali. We are from the same cohort. This girl, she just did it. And she's very inspiring to everyone. So thank you so much, everyone. And thanks to Rahul also for very good insights. So I never had to ask any questions. They were automatically getting answered for me. Thank you so much. Thank you.
Yeah. Most welcome, Dr. Mukta. So, yeah, I think Anjali, congratulations. Rahul, congratulations. And for
Thank you.
Jyoti, Abrami, and Dr. Mukta, congratulations will be on the way. And hopefully soon this will
Yes.
jump on board, right? So,
Yeah. Thank you so much. Thank you, Ji.
perfect.
Wishing you the best, and anytime you want to reach out, we're always available. So